Hi, my name is Emmett. My pronouns are they, them. Today is July 14th, 2020, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a homemade divination box that I have been thinking about making for the past 6 or 7 months, which is essentially a wooden box that I'm going to take slips of paper that have different messages and the I Ching hexagrams, the 64 I Ching hexagrams on them. You can shake with all of the slips of paper in it, and you can use this each day or as often as you want to do divination magic with. I've been working on this project now for about 3 weeks. It is a gift for my dear friend's birthday. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through this process with me and voiceover of each different part of how I made this box, and I'll show you the end result at the end. I began by creating a space near the window that was comfortable, cozy, and well lit, and taking the books off of my bookshelf that I wanted to use for the project. The types of books that I chose included books about spirituality, paganism, witchcraft, self-development, mental health, nature, science, as well as a few of my favorite feminist memoirs and anthologies. All of the books that I chose were books that I have already read all or the majority of, and are books that I have annotated using either highlighters, pens, pencils, and marked up in some way as I was going through them and absorbing the content. I really enjoy annotating books for this reason, because in the future when you have a creative endeavor or project or you want to look back on those books, you have an easy way to digest the material that you have already once gone through and see what popped out at you at the time. I pulled a tarot card to accompany me on this creative project. It was the Four of Swords, and I kept it with me throughout the duration of this. I did quite a bit of bibliomancy during this project, which is essentially the art of divination through text. I was searching for messages that would serve the purpose of standing out on its own with a full, complete message. I included whatever I felt like, whatever stood out to me as I was doing the process, whatever I could envision my friend pulling and receiving a beneficial message from. The bulk of this part of the project was mainly compiling and condensing all 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. I did read all 64 pages of the hexagrams as I was going through this, and it was quite an amazing experience for me to do this, because this was the first time I have ever read the I Ching. I feel like this system would be great to use in conjunction with tarot and runes, and I can't wait to explore it further. This book here is Condensed Chaos by Phil High, and this was the first book that I've ever read about chaos magic. This process also reminded me that the majority of my occult bookshelves are written by white men, and I would really like to change that. So I'm going to be doing some further research on the topic, seeing what I can find, and if you guys do have any recommendations, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Now things are really getting exciting. We move on to the actual construction of this divination box, which was completely and totally done by my beautiful partner. I was going to say that I was the sous chef of the situation, helping them out, but the reality was that I held on to things as they drilled and hammered like twice, and mostly just bossed them around of what angles I wanted them at to film. I really have no idea what's going on here, but if you guys want to know how this part of the project was made, like the particularities of making a box, I'm sure that my partner would go down in the comments and respond to any of your guys' questions. So please feel free to leave them, because I am useless when it comes to answering questions about this. I was very particular about wanting a hinge box. I really liked the idea of being able to open and shut the box and have it be in a hinge situation rather than like a pull-up from the top. I think hinged boxes make me think of treasure boxes. Ta-da! The beautiful divination box. Here are all of the slips now that I need to cut out to fold and put in this box. You guys, I didn't even get into the whole process of formatting these in text boxes on Microsoft Word. It was, whew, oh God. You know how trying to format something is. It is the bane of all of our collective existences. I used a paper cutter with a running blade rather than a lever because I found that it was just more smooth and created a nice, clean, perfectly straight line. I'm going to let you all know this right now. This process took a long time. If you're not the most patient with super repetitive activities like this, like cutting out, over 300 sheets of small paper, then this might not be your favorite part of the project, but for me it was really cathartic and very stimmy. I liked using the paper cutter, and I found it to just be overall a good, relaxing, meditative time. Just pace yourself and take breaks. You'll be just fine if you just take it one step at a time and keep the end goal result in mind. I suggest listening to an audiobook or putting on a long playlist while you do this cutting process because, like I said, it does take a long time, but if you spend that time doing something else that's engaging your mind, it can be a really relaxing and meditative experience. I personally was listening to Summer Walker during the majority of this. I've also been listening to the audiobook The Deep by author Rivers Solomon. I'm curious, what are you all reading right now? What are you listening to on audiobook or physically reading? Please drop a comment down below because I would love to know. Something random that I found out as I was doing this project is that craft specialty paper that is able to be put in a standard printer, like with standard thickness, basically does not exist. So paper with like different colors and patterns that can be printed on, I could not find it anywhere. This paper was the only specialty paper that I could find, and luckily it fit perfectly with what I wanted. That was just a blessing from the goddess right there because it was this beautiful watercolor paper that fit perfectly with the theme of the box that I was going to paint that you'll see pretty soon. But yeah, what's up with that? Any of you art witches know? Next is time to fold the slips. I decided to fold each piece in half to make small rectangular slips that I was going to adhere with a sticker in the middle. I didn't measure for this part. I wasn't worried about perfection, and I just folded them in half the best that I could, what looked right to my eye. I used a ruler to press down the edges to give them a nice crisp fold. The stickers that I used were epoxy stickers, and you can see right here that I'm taking off one of the epoxy stickers and putting it back on, repositioning it. And I left that part in because I wanted to show that these stickers are quite easy to remove. They don't cause too much damage at all to the paper when you remove them. I would have actually bought 100 packs of these crystal stickers if they had them, but they only had 2, so I was forced to practice self-restraint. Again, this part of the process takes a while and it's repetitive, but if you try to stay mindful, it really can be a good practice of mindfulness. I think a lot of art, since it is a process where you need to be patient and you cannot rush the result, it causes you to need to sit in the moment with the project that you're working on. Let this be a relaxing time, a time of rest, a time of creativity, and put your full intention into each of the movements that you're making. Take the paper and feel it between your fingers. Feel yourself pressing the stickers on, and use this time to just ground yourself and be in the present moment. take breaks and have quite a few sessions. I know that I did. I also needed to show these amazing rhinestone stickers that I went back out and got because I severely underestimated the amount of stickers that I would need for this project. I underestimated the amount of slips that I would have entirely. So I went back out and I got some of these rhinestone stickers that I always see but never really have a purpose to buy. But I did this time and I got quite a few packs. If you want to know where any of the quotes came from that you see throughout this video on any of the slips, please feel free to ask me because I do know where all of the quotes are from, each and every one of them. It's time now to paint the divination box, where I'm going to channel Bob Ross and do a cloudscape on each side. I decided to do a cloudscape for the theme because I wanted this whole project to evoke a dreamy, psychic, ethereal, angelic realm type of element to it. This actually ended up being my favorite part of the project to do overall. It was so nice to paint on a surface like a box rather than on a flat canvas. I just found it to be so dynamic and enjoyable to do something on a surface that had multiple different parts to cover. I loved it. Would you like to see the finished product? Okay, so today is the day of my best friend's birthday. It just actually started downpouring and there's a storm brewing outside the window, so if you can hear it, I apologize, but hopefully it won't impact my words too much. So this is the divination box that my partner constructed. You saw in the footage. And on each side of it, I have painted some clouds. I wanted this to evoke a very dreamy, ethereal, sort of psychic, spiritual nature about it. This is the top. I really love the top, how the clouds are very sparse and just sort of like strokes of paint. And then I have on the bottom some really shiny and shimmery purple that I absolutely love. It's kind of hard to pick up on this camera, the quality of the sheen to it, but I've also done the inside of the box, that same purple color. And then we have the inside, which I absolutely love, and I'm very happy with how it came out. So I've done sort of a green cloudscape on the inside. Sorry if you can hear the rain, it's really picking up now, and I have you guys positioned right next to the window. Actually, I'll turn this around so you can see. I absolutely love storms. I'm definitely a storm witch. This is the box. I love how it came out. I love the quality. My partner did such an amazing job. This was their first time making a box like this. So the whole process was definitely a learning process for the two of us and just a creative venture as well, a collaborative effort. And my best friend and my partner are good friends too, so having a joint birthday present and a project to work on has been so fun. We've been working on this for weeks together. As I was going on with this project, I knew that there was going to be some sort of obstacles that I was going to need to work out since I didn't really have it planned start to finish exactly how this was going to go. It was definitely just all new to me. There's no maps in our hands for making these sort of things. This is a very chaos magic project. This is using whatever the fuck you want to do magic with and to make a magic system that you can use in your everyday life to actually manifest change. And so this was just a total creative expenditure. I didn't exactly know the problems that I would run into along the way. And one of the problems that I did run into was that all of the tabs that I made for the inside, all of the slips of paper with the messages printed on that you saw me cutting out and then folding and then adhering a sticker to, there was so many of them, so many more than I anticipated. I sort of just pictured all of those, that big stack of paper that you saw just all turning out to be able to fit in this box and then to be able to shake the box with the paper in it. And that's still sort of the idea, but rather than giving my friend this box with all of the papers in it, I need to separate I Ching and the affirmations and lyrics and messages from books that I took into 2 separate envelopes because there are so many. These envelopes are so thick, and I did make these envelopes. I just sort of made them out of the blue. I didn't know like what I was doing with them, but I just wanted like a space where they wouldn't fall out. And I actually really like the way that these turned out too. I think they're super cute, and they're definitely my best friend's aesthetic. She is an herb witch, a floral witch. So yeah, so 1 envelope of these, even when all of the contents are put into the box, it's very tight in there. There's not very much space for the actual papers to shake around. So, but using this box, there's no rules to it. My friend can do whatever she wants. She can take she can take some, like half of the slips and put them in the box. She can use just the I Ching. She can use just the positive affirmation. And there is some room to shake it around in the box. And you know, you can go in there with your hand and you can shuffle around until you feel exactly what you want to pull out from there. So it's like, it's not too big of a deal, but I definitely didn't plan for the fact that this box, if I did want it to fit in all of these slips, was going to need to be probably twice the size. But I do like the size of this box, that it's small, and I think it will work just fine. I think there's many different ways that my friend will be able to sort of figure out like how she wants to combine the slips to make the sort of divinatory set that you can pull out a slip from. So I'll show you what the set looks like when I put it in there, shake it, and then I'm going to pull one out and I'm going to see what I get. Okay, I'm going to take the positive affirmations, the lyrics, the messages from the books, that sort of category, basically everything that's not the I Ching, and I'm going to put them into the box now. So I'm going to open up my envelope here. This is kind of what that looks like, and you just tuck the tip into there so it can hold all of the slips inside. And the way that I've differentiated the I Ching from the rest of the slips is I've put a little, let me show you, I've put a little, just a little dot of glitter on those sides, as well as the other side is adhered with one of the stickers that you saw. But I put one of the pieces of glitter on each side just in case these were to get shuffled in together. So I'm going to now take all of the non-I Ching messages and I'm going to do a pull out of this box, kind of see how it goes. I have not done this yet. I have tried to shake up the box with the papers in the slips of papers in them to see how much room I had, but you see that they definitely do fit with some room in here, but if you combined the 2 together it wouldn't really work. There's 64 hexagrams in the I Ching, so it wouldn't really be able to fit all of them. So now I'm going to shake it and I'm going to ask, you don't have to ask a message to any form of divination. Like when you're doing a tarot reading, you don't really have to have a question in mind. At least I don't believe that you do. I'm a chaos magician, so I believe that you can use divinatory systems really however you want for whatever purpose you want. Of course, you can use them in sort of the traditional ask a question, receive an answer way. You don't necessarily have to. There's no rules telling you that you need to do these things. There's no rules to witchcraft. We have principles, we have ethics, but we don't have rules. So that's sort of like the premise of what chaos magic is for me. It's like doing what you want, using what you can to actually manifest some sort of change, and however you go about doing it, as long as it's within your ethical guidelines as a witch, then you should do that. So I'm gonna pull a message now that I would like to meditate on. Oops, one of my slips of paper is coming out there. You better poke back on in there, buddy. So you have to, ooh, it's coming out the other side too. I guess I'm working out some of these little issues now. So I guess that it is possible that as I shake, some of them can come out of the edge, so it's fine. So I want this slip to be just sort of something to meditate on about making this project for my friend, the intention that I put in behind it, and what I want my friend to be able to get out of it. And I just want to pull something that will be one of the messages that I had and see what I get. It's just fun. All right, let's do it. All right, shakety shake. This is the slip that I pulled. It has a blue crystal on it, a blue jewel. So I know this is backwards, but it says, "A heart glows in me, a heart." So I love that I received this one. This was actually a quote that I took from my quote book, which is a journal that I have, a really pretty journal that I keep a lot of quotes that I've collected over the years that mean a lot to me, and this was one of them from there. And this to me just really evokes that heart center, doing things from your heart, listening to your soul, listening to what your heart is telling you to do, and then acting on that, and not really worrying about all of the intricacies of what you feel like you're supposed to be doing, about the pressures that are coming from the external, and just listening to your own heart center. And that is such a perfect one to pull for me. And that's why I love divination so much, because it absolutely brings something, it brings a message in. So I love that I pulled that one. That is amazing, and I cannot wait to see what the first message that my friend will pull today will be. As I put these away, a way that I was thinking that my friend could use this and use these two envelopes of slips together would be to pull one slip from the I Ching, take the slips of paper and put them back in the envelope, and then pull one from the other ones and see kind of how those messages combine together. So it actually did kind of work out, I think, pretty cool. Like, rather than just pulling one slip from all of them combined, you could definitely use the I Ching as sort of a separate system or a specific system in conjunction with all of these messages, and kind of see how the two line up together. This was also my first time ever actually reading the I Ching. I read the illustrated I Ching by R.H. Wing, I believe is the author's name. If I'm not mistaken, I'll post it up here if I am. But this was my first time ever reading the I Ching, and this project really inspired me to use that system of divination. Every single hexagram in the I Ching is poignant and profound and extremely purposeful and meaningful. You can definitely also use this system with tarot or with runes or with any other system of divination that you enjoy using in your daily life. You can just combine this into your practice, and you can make your own. You can make one for friends. You can make one that's bigger or smaller. You can make the slips of paper larger or smaller. I was even thinking that you could do this with like small pictures or with like symbols or sigils. So you could make a bunch of sigils, your own illustrated sigils, and you could illustrate them on small slips of paper, and you could put them in here and use it as sort of like a sigil drawing situation. You could even put your tarot cards in here and shake them up and pull from them that way. So really get creative with your divination. Don't be afraid to explore new things. Combine art magic with divinatory magic, and really just enjoy yourself. Do things from the heart center. Do what makes you feel creative. Do projects that make you feel fulfilled and that you can share with others. And I really just hope that this brings my friend so much magic into her day. And I really cannot wait for my friend to see this video. If you're watching this, you're one of the most amazing people that I've ever met in my life, and I don't know what I would do without you. And I feel so blessed to have one of my best friends in the world be such a kick-ass witch. And I'm just blessed. So I can't wait to see you later, and I can't wait for you to see this video. I love you so much, and thank you everybody for watching and coming along on this journey with me. I hope to be doing more art magic and to be sharing more of my practice with you guys. Blessed be.